Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Elev8 Project Podcast. I'm Ryan, and this is episode number 2, season 2 of the podcast. So if you missed episode 1, make sure to check it out, talking about how my YouTube channel died. And episode number 2 is the creator reset. How I'm going to reset myself from a mindset perspective, make sure that I don't burn out, and just kind of some strategies in my workflow so I can ensure that I'm going to be able to sustain in this journey to revitalize my YouTube channel, the Elev8 Project or Elev8 Project. So again, the mindset is kind of a shift, because when I started the YouTube channel Elev8 Project, it was really focused on increasing my skill sets as a presenter. I also wanted to elevate my presence online. So to give you some context, I started the YouTube channel during the pandemic, 2020, 2021-ish. I have to double check. But with that in mind, I had some background and experience in presentations, and I wanted to really transition within my organization to present virtually at a professional level. And I realized that we can do this even in the meetings like Microsoft Teams and WebEx and Zoom, because during the pandemic, that was going to be your way to really communicate and express yourself and to add value is on these virtual meetings. And I really wasn't focused on the subscribers or the monetization opportunities. It was really just for me to practice and in the process share some value and help other people that were looking to elevate their presence online. And it also helped me to really gain experience from a video perspective, because I also started during my 9 to 5 was doing voiceovers and doing a lot more video production. And so that gave me a great opportunity to invest in higher quality cameras and create better YouTube videos. And then I shared, not just to elevate your presence online, but all this new camera gear and all this new tech that I was investing in, because I was working from home 100% of the time. Now, I've always worked from home remotely, I'd say since 2011, but not necessarily 100% of the time. So working from home usually just meant a laptop and maybe an external display to get a better visual. So as I got these new technologies for like keyboards, mice, computer, even like a sit and stand electric desk and these cameras, I figured I wanted to share that. And lo and behold, I was able to get some traction, things that were new. And when I did decide, well, I sure it wasn't necessarily a decision, is when I put YouTube on the shelf for a moment to focus on my 9 to 5, as well as I ended up through this YouTube channel creating a videography business, which is still amazing, but never looked at YouTube in that light as a business opportunity yet. So in any case, if you watch episode number 1 or listen to episode number 1, I kind of talk about my strategies and creating my purpose. So the reset, I had to reset a few different things. And that was to redefine my why. What's the reason I'm starting to create again? And if that reason's changed, good. And right now, it's to grow this YouTube channel, to have an opportunity to really create a business and revenue. And so, is it a little bit different than my audience before? Yes and no. I still want to serve the current audience because I came up with a dilemma, which I kind of talked about in episode number 1, and I'll expand on right now, is that I had the choice of either just starting a whole brand new channel or revitalize this one. And looking at the content that I wanted to create with more experience from my videography business and also kind of redefining my focus, I want to connect, and it's similar content, for people that are wanting to start a new YouTube channel and also still want to elevate their presence online, specifically on Teams or Zoom, etc., and are interested in gear reviews or interested in tech that they might be buying for working at home or starting their YouTube channel. And so this was a great opportunity instead of instead of starting a whole new channel, is just revitalizing the channel that I already had. Now, the one thing that I realized as well is I need to kind of focus on what's in my control. And currently, I still have a 9 to 5. I still have the videography business. And now I'm adding this layer of the YouTube channel to really focus on how viable this business, can I turn YouTube into a business? Now, in order to do that, certain things have to give. And it kind of gave me a couple of reasons on why I put YouTube on the shelf in the first place. Is I started off doing 3 to 4 videos, and I would make sure within that time period, they were the best quality possible. The energy was there, the lighting was there, the camera quality was there, the audio quality was there, all those type of things. And then it wasn't sustainable. Then I went down to 1 video a week, planning, recording, editing, etc., making sure everything's perfect. And when I take a look at those videos are great and they have a lot of great value. And this time around, my mindset shift is to be more genuine and natural. Not saying that I wasn't in my past videos, but I brought some extra energy and I would edit in a way that really kept everything high and realize it may not come off as natural and genuine. And so this time around is to ditch perfection and kind of give you an example of that. In my strategy this time around is to focus on 3 types of content. One is the podcast, like I'm doing now, obviously. And I'm sharing my journey and how I'm revitalizing the channel. And then live stream. So live stream, want to do at least 1 live stream per week. Want to release 1 podcast episode per week. And that live stream is live. And in my last live stream, so it is October 20th, and I did a live stream on Saturday, and that would have been the 18th. And the beginning of that live stream, my audio was way off. Couldn't hear myself, etc., because I didn't turn on the mic on the camera. Well, the external mic on the camera. And I think having things perfect all the time is great, but I also want to be able to learn from failure. So I did keep that up, and you can hear it. I think I might have, after the edit, just took out the part where it was bad audio, and I just kind of re-summarized everything from the beginning. But people watching live, that's definitely not perfect. So I want to ditch perfection. I want to make sure that I'm focusing on the content, the quality, and the value it can bring, and not necessarily making sure that it is perfect. I want to make sure it's good enough that I have the solutions to the problems, that I recognize the problem, and other than that, release it. Because YouTube in 2025, I'm not saying it's different than before. I thought it was more important for me to have the best video quality, the best audio quality. And yes, content, need to have value and release as much content as possible out there. So the algorithm can push my videos out to every YouTube watching person out there. And in 2025, the concept that I'm understanding is that you create good content that has value, and YouTube will pull your videos and put them in front of the right people and the right audience for your content, because YouTube wants you to be successful as a creator, because if you're successful as a creator, YouTube becomes more successful. So it's not about pushing my content. YouTube is pulling my content and making sure it's in front of the right people. And I know that's going to take time. The other thing is to kind of rewrite my metrics for success and maybe not look like growth in the short term. And so what I mean by that is I don't want to look at my analytics every single day. My mindset now is, hey, let's ensure that I can create content and publish it. And I'm going to be treating this like a brand new channel versus, hey, this is how many subscribers I have right now, and look at my analytics every single day. And what I found, it takes about 100 subscribers, or let's say, 100 subscribers for the YouTube algorithm to really figure out the type of content that I'm creating and who the right audience is for that content. So then once I hit about 100 subscribers, that's when I'm going to really start looking at the analytics to make sure that I can make the quality of the video, the content itself, to be better for that, for my audience. So right now, man, the goal is to, again, one podcast episode, one live stream episode per week, and then one video per week. The one video is going to be more strategic and take a little bit more time. So I still want to be able to create content where it's specific to your needs and perspectives of why you would understand this topic, or if it's a gear review, why this made sense for me, and it may make sense for you, or clearly make sense for you not to get that particular product. And that's a great segue into my next thing that I need to think about, which is burnout. And like I said earlier, in the beginning, I was doing a lot of videos. Then you got to balance the 9 to 5. Then you got to balance family, etc. And I was burning out. I was editing videos at like 12, 1, 3 o'clock in the morning to ensure that I would release a video every single week, the same day every single week, which at that time was every Tuesday. Every Tuesday morning, I had to have a video out. And that kind of led to my burnout for sure. And this time around, how do I decrease my chances of burning out? I'm not saying that I won't burn out, but the things that I'm really thinking on my mindset is to prioritize rest. Prioritize when I'm focused and when I need to just put it on the shelf. So for instance, when it comes to video editing or it comes to a date of a release, my current goal is to record that podcast episode. So for this one right now is Monday, October 20th. I want to leave a couple hours, either Sunday or Monday, to have the ability to record that one episode. And during the week, I will take the time, 20 to 30 minutes, maybe an hour, to maybe a couple days a week to focus on creating one video. And that's where it's a little bit more polished, where there's kind of specific things like making sure that I'm expressing what I like, what I don't like, and my final conclusion, if it's a product review, etc., or if it's a topic, the reasons why I like or dislike, and maybe share my thoughts, make it very specific and structured, easier to understand. And then live stream. So want to be able to live stream once a week. And if I miss one of those three video pieces of content, or if I miss 2 out of those 3 contents, or if I miss 3 out of 3 of those content for a week, that I don't stress out about it. It is what it is. I will have set some goals and ensure that if I prioritize rest appropriately, that I'll be able to hit those goals every single week. Now, if I'm editing and it's 10 o'clock at night, I'm going to stop, take some rest, make sure that I get a full night's rest, and then edit the next day. If I miss that deadline to record, or I miss that deadline to edit and release, I'm not going to sweat it. Now, you might be thinking, well, Ryan, you burnt out on 1 video per week. How are you not going to burn out with 3 pieces of content every single week? So yes, if you're like me, maybe you have a 9 to 5, may also have a separate business on the side, and you're starting YouTube. It's a lot. So the reason why I picked these 3 types of content is because I was very interested in doing live streams. I wanted to do live streams way back in 2023, right before I kind of put my YouTube channel on pause. And it's not like I haven't done live streams. Like I said earlier, I set up live streams for other people to enhance their online presence. And it was doing live streams on Microsoft Teams, WebEx, Zoom, using OBS, using different types of webcams and professional cameras, and having the way to present using OBS, having different scenes, etc., to really elevate your professionalism and communicating what you want to communicate. And I just never, it's always easier to do it for someone else. You do it for yourself, maybe in a professional setting, but then when it comes to YouTube, it's like, oh, well, it's going to be open to thousands and millions of people, and people may not like it, etc. And so I got paralyzed because of perfection. If we talked about earlier in the mindset is, hey, I'm ditching perfection on this time around. So up to this point, I've done 13 or 14 live streams. A couple of them were just like going live just to see how it feels. And I absolutely love it. Now, why do I want this part of the piece of content per week? Is because I can go live for 15 minutes, maybe an hour. And once that live stream is done, I don't worry about it. Don't need to edit it. If I do edit, maybe something minor, and that's it. And hopefully, whatever is on my mind or that topic, my audience, you find value in that. And it's not necessarily maybe I screwed up on the way that I said something. There's at least one piece of nugget that you can take out of that. I feel like I helped someone. So again, no editing involved. Just press record or hit live, and then you're done. The podcast, I treat as the same way. Yes, I'm recording. I'm going to do some minor edits, and then I'm going to release it. However, when I record, it's in one shot. I'm not taking any breaks here. I'm just hitting record, sharing my thoughts, want to make this a little bit more conversational and give you some value. And then again, that won't take me too long to edit. Just change some color maybe and edit out any pauses that are a little too long or breaks that I take, which is 10 seconds or so to 30 seconds. And then I can upload and release. The one video or one piece of content that's going to take me a little bit of time and focus after pressing record is just that one video. So that video editing will take a little bit longer. And I think that will take up a little bit more of the time. So the reason why I wanted those 3 as well is I want to stay curious and interested in the type of content that I'm creating. So yes, if I'm doing a review or it's something about a topic, at least with a podcast, it's long form. I can kind of really just share my thoughts unfiltered. With the live stream, it's the same sort of thing, no editing. And I think that's really important. The live stream especially is because it's new for me. Live streaming on YouTube. I think in the future, I might even multi-stream onto Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube just to play around with it. So I'm getting more in depth and learning OBS Studio, more so than I did before. Looking at multicam setups through live stream versus doing a multicam setup like I do in my videography business. So those are certain things that keeps me not from burning out, because the more interested you're in a topic, the more you want to learn. Where I found that I was getting burnt out is because I was doing the same thing and I had different thoughts and I wanted to expand, and I had some fear that maybe my audience wouldn't be interested, and that would affect my analytics. So I guess that also goes to the mindset, is going back to revitalize this channel is not picking up where I left off. In that sense is when I left or took a pause on YouTube, I had huge momentum. I had an audience. Every video was getting couple hundred views in one day, over 1,000 views during the week, etc. And now, when I release a video, I may get 10 views, and then the next day might get, 20 views, and then maybe in a week get 100 views. So it's not thinking about that. It's just more focusing on, hey, this is like a new channel, and I'm going to introduce content out there, and YouTube will do its job and figure out what my new videos are. They attracting the same type of audience, and they will pull my content, put them in front of the right people. So on the short term, I know it's going to be a little bit of a struggle, and that mindset is, hey, I'm not where I left off. Energy levels. I think the way that I edited, want to ensure my energy levels was high from beginning to end. Now I'm really just focusing on being genuine, being more natural. And when things are high and I have a lot of energy, it's because I'm really excited about something. And it's not like I wasn't genuine before. It's, I think, the way that I edited maybe came off that, how is this guy maintaining this much energy from beginning to end? So that's why I like the live. That's why I also like the podcast, where you can kind of really hear myself, or you can hear me as I kind of talk through different topics, how my energy levels are from beginning to end for this like long form content. So I think one other thing that will help me avoid getting burnt out is just being a little bit more structured and organized about how I spend my time for these videos, not just 9 to 5 and the videography business, which obviously has set organized time on its own. It's a system that I've been using that's been really working out for me for a long time. And they call it the Pomodoro technique. And this is what I use here. It's just a kitchen timer I have on my desk. I set it for 25 minutes. And then after 25 minutes, I take a 15-minute break, and then I reset again. Gives my brain enough time to just reset and then put 100% focus on what I'm focusing on at that given moment. And that means, putting my phone aside, putting other things, distractions away, and just give myself 25 minutes on focused work. So even when I'm editing, let's say, my videos, give myself 25 minutes, really focus on it, get everything, and then take a break, then go back into it till it's done. And again, it is something that you may want to try and dig in more. If you are wanting me to do a video about it or a topic about it for the podcast, please let me know. this podcast being streamed on YouTube as well as Spotify. Leave a comment, all those type of things, and try to answer that as well. So I've talked about a lot, and I think for this episode is just really just the creator reset, and sometimes it's just a mindset shift, and just understanding that for me on this journey, revitalizing this channel is not easy. I think it's something that is a challenge. I'm enjoying it so far. I haven't burnt out just yet. And knowing the type of content and the things that I think YouTube is as a business opportunity. Again, there's nothing I'm selling here or anything like that. Just me getting in the process. And again, if I do find, hey, this is viable, and I shouldn't say that. I know it's viable. There is some other aspects on YouTube and other YouTube channels that I just started. And if you do like podcasts, like you're listening to this one, I appreciate it. I do have another podcast that I have with a friend of mine, if you like cycling. Now, cycling has been something that I've been passionate about for since November of last year. And if you're interested to hear two guys, one that has newer experience, which is myself, again, less than a year experience riding a bike, and someone that has over 20 years experience riding a bike, we kind of chat about cycling and races and gear and all those type of things. And it's called Last Wheel Cycling. So again, we actually started a whole different YouTube channel for that as well. And right now it just has the podcast, and looking during these next couple months to create some videos for that channel as well. And again, I think YouTube has a huge opportunity for any topic or any interest that you are in if you're thinking about starting a channel for yourself. And hopefully I'll be a part of that journey. So along those things, I talked about avoiding burnout. So as I have this structure, my plan is also, if I have extra time, is to do batch recordings, schedule things appropriately, and not necessarily meaning that I have to release all the recordings right away. It's more so if I have the extra time, then I have videos for the next, let's say, month or so, and be ahead of the game and be able to take a week off without really thinking that I'm missing something. But on the opposite side, if other things like family or the 9-to-5 or my other business starts to take a priority at that time, is not to sweat it. And so I think there is something to be said about creative breathing room. So when you do miss those days or those time periods, other thoughts and opportunities can arise as ideas and help you become a little bit more creative as well. So, all right. So we're going to wrap this up. I appreciate you for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube or Spotify, I appreciate you for listening and stopping by. And hopefully that you stick around for this journey of revitalizing this YouTube channel. And if you are in the same boat, you started a YouTube channel during the pandemic like I did, or you started a YouTube channel a long time ago, put it on the shelf, and thinking to yourself, should I revitalize the channel or should I just start a new channel? Stick around for the journey as I try to revitalize this YouTube channel, the Elev8 project. And with this episode talking about mindset shift, restarting and resetting the creative engines, trying to avoid, obviously, burnout, creating boundaries, and strategy. So I shared all of those. So thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you haven't listened to episode number 1, go ahead and listen to that next. Or even take a look at season 1, which I recorded way back in 2022, 2023. And I started this YouTube channel because I was able to hit 1,000 subscribers and looking to revitalize and get 1,000 more. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. And we'll catch you in the next one.